Hey, welcome back to Saula's last week's new music. And yeah, we're back after 2 weeks off. And this time we will cover some songs, 20 songs that were released between 12th and 18th November, December 2021. So maybe we can just start to the first song. There's Binar with Safari Plaza Rasa. Okay. Um, Listening to the song, there's some issues, I guess, with the mixing. The blistering, attention-grabbing flute-like synth at the intro sounds dimmer as the vocals start sliding in. On top of that, and I feel that there's an inconsistency in terms of volume mixing. Like the guitar is suddenly dimmer at some part, and for some unknown reason, the flute-like synth that I said before gets blaring again. For it's very loud, and the crispy cymbal is not the best experience in this 3.5 minute journey. But after all, is yeah, I'm not really liking it, but you perhaps want to give it a shot. And next we have Bisinggama with the talks. Bisinggama is familiar name in Indonesian metal industry. And this particular track, The Talks, listening to this track is quite a trippy and passion testing journey because it's a 5 minutes long track and it feels like you're being when I listen to this track, it feels like I am being pushed into a dark and spacious realm. And because well, thanks to Bisingama's intro, which is filled with a reverb, a vocal, and looped beat, and I'm not complaining about it at all, because it is quite building up the tension. And in the middle of the track, I feel like floating in the emptiness and immeasurable unknown of the spacious realm. And when the instrumentation is back, especially the loud and distorted guitar, those guitar strums slap your back to your consciousness. So it feels like you're intentionally floating in the spacious realm, and then Bisingama drags you back, slap so loud to bring back your consciousness. All right, next we have Deepa with Wadidaw. Okay, this one is very short, very dense, and very rich of musical talents because there are Isyana Saraswati, Salpriyadi, Titi Puspa, Nazar, and many other artists. And yeah, you should not take this dance and too short track seriously because it is not meant to be that way. Well, this Bella Ciao inspired track is completely a witty track when you cannot find amusement uh, from any human being or even from yourself. You cannot find any happiness from yourself, and you just maybe listen to this one because this very comedic. Wadidaw embellished with multi well proven singer, just like I said before. There are Nasar with very engaging, especially when um, Nasar's part starts kicking in with the thick and rounded downbeat type beat, especially the uh, downbeat percussion. You will barely resist yourself not to move. You will just start dancing and tapping your hand on the table or tapping your feet because Deepa Brothers really knows how to build the down type beat without creating the feeling of like a cheesy feeling. And from getting sort of a down demeanor, Deepa Brothers managed to shift it into more Malayu pop tone as Titi Puspa starts singing it. And yeah, there are multiple mm, alteration in the song from pop, dangdut, Melayu, and then from classical genre, especially when Isyana starts singing. And this is very interesting, but mm, don't take it too serious because this is just like a side dish of your main course. So just give it a listen if you want to cherish yourself a little bit more. And next there is a Gavendri with a little longer. These seductive R&B song, sonically and vocally. Gavendri really puts herself into the track by altering her vocal as if, she desperately pickbacks the person she is obsessed with to stay a little bit longer so that she could touch him or her more. It almost sounds like a prelude to your pinnacle of lust fulfillment. So like she's teasing you, and yeah, because of that tension, she wants to hold you a little bit longer so you could have a physical intimacy moment. And yeah, it's very nice. Narratively, she could transfer the narrative with her vocal quite nice. And this bass slide track has the groove with the snappy beat, and a thinly revolving sax is very sexy as well. And yeah, nice. Next we have Holiday with SAFF, and their collaboration is titled Side Piece. There's no intersection between Holiday's flow with the subtle beat under it. He just sounds bland in the bright and uplifting disco R&B track. While um, Meanwhile, I find that Saf merely functions to take the chorus without getting enough chance to let other words sliding out of her mouth, because it feels like she doesn't have enough portion to let herself being creative and pay a much more contribution to the track, unless just to sing the chorus. And move there's Hamidumi with Methiums, Sementara Biru. Okay, the spoken word at the intro of the track sounds extremely jaggy and surprising, which is not in a good way because the shifting from spoken word to the instrumentation is not the best experience you will feel in listening to this track. And the mix is awful in my opinion, and I barely enjoy the whole track, unless the part where Methiums starts shifting the track with his guitar solo, which is his specialization is in between metal and rock, and I very like the involvement of Methiums in this track to change the tone, the nuance of blandness in Sementara Biru. It's very nice, and I'm not really a fan of this track. And next we have Judika, one of the most recognized rock singer in Indonesia, and this time he laid out a song titled Ini Waktumu, and this is just a total disappointment. Like, Judika's vocals should have been treated better. The generic and repetitive electronic beat totally masks his potential. Like, okay, it's okay for me to experiment a new genre for Judika or for other artists, but at the end of the day, you must take a deep reflection, deep evaluation on how the output sounds like. If it doesn't sound good, just leave it on your hard drive. Just leave it there. Don't ever put it online, because this particular song is just not good. Both instrumentally and the vocal by Judika. It feels like Judika doesn't even shows his best potential with this track. So yeah, it's a very disappointing track, this one. And next we have Juicy Lucy with Tanggung Jawab. It's a nice intro. It's a very grand, cinematic, and blaring saxophone when it comes us, but what comes after it doesn't really appeal unless they attempt to build a climax in the last quarter part of the track. And what what interests me more is the main vocal, backing vocal, and instrumentation that are collided to elevate the intensifying feeling at the middle of the track. It's a very nice little touch, and yeah, it's just not a love songs. Nothing really impressive about the songwriting, and yeah, give it a listen. And following next, there's Lightcraft with Dream Dancer. Okay, this track they offer a thicker electronic pop influence with Dream Dancer. The verses are not the best they could write, especially on how common on the beat and the vocal is, but they managed to keep the track breathing with the chorus and the trumpet or even sax. I don't even know what it, but it's presumably a saxophone, which drags my attention easily to the track. The solo saxophone is very alluring, very catchy, very attention grabbing. It's a nice track. You should try to listen to it. And next, there's Lomba Sihir with Pesona. Okay, I'm not really interested with this one. The hook is like a Japanese anime entrance, or perhaps to create a throwback reference. But I like the songwriting for the progressively build the story in a more detailed manner. Although it's just about one attracted to someone else in a bar, and yeah, the songwriting itself is weak, but I love the progression. We got the um, narrative, we got the flow of story, and after all, it sounds like Kiro Kiro Bonito without their bright and heavy electronic signature. And perhaps this is not the best Solombasi here has ever produced. And next, there's Manja with Andreas Arianto and Niki Asvikarani with None of Us Knows. Okay. And this Manja is a group from Bali, and I like the lively vocal and how they hold their potential in the first quarter of the track with the dimmed and subtle progression. With Andres Arianto's involvement in this track, the string easily hooks my interest. Moreover, its collision with the drum and guitar in the middle of the track is a blessing. Is the total magnificent of the track. You just they just build slowly by stripping down the instrumentation at first and then just let it unleash its full potential in the middle of the track. It's a very nice and sweet as well. Okay, next there's a Marigold and Rubina with Gemini. This is not this is another track from Sun Eater compilation of Sounds Cute Mighty Later. And this particular track, this disco song has a dense and complex drum, but I barely encounter any interesting event or point to finally say that okay, this track is a nice one. And because it seems to me that Marigold two focuses are in building the throwback concept or guideline laid out by Sun Eater instead of considering their beat which is being implemented to Rubina's standard vocal. They just focus on the instrumentation, and without paying attention on what their instrumentation could support the Rubina's tender voice. This turns out this is quite not really boring, but less appealing. And coming up next, there's Nike with Honey and Lemon. Okay, so the vocal mixing is too loud, although Nikila's voice is nice, but not really that impressive. While lyrically, it's just like any other love song, nothing really special, nothing really groundbreaking love song. It's just any other love song. Next, there's Wayne with Cruise. Okay, first of all, I'm not a fan of the backing vocal put out in this track. The main reason is that it doesn't serve any significant role to the leading vocal. And the riff is nothing exceptional, but you may jam to what Win offers in Cruise is they have the groove, but they don't really let it catch your attention enough. And next there is Oscar Lolang with Dewasa. Yeah, there's so much happening to this in this track. Oscar Roland brings up the significance of being an adult concerning about love beamed to other instead of presenting a biased adjustment to self love and like others. It's like it is quite a nice critic to our society who are desperate, not I'm not saying desperately, who are striving to achieve a self-love, but they neglect their relationship with others, their social relationship with others. So it feels like we are trying to achieve self-love while also building up or shaping up more, like egocentric or self-centered persona. And this is a very nice track. His typical strumming vocal is boldly highlighted in this bathroom approach, maybe I would say, because of the dominant twangy and reverb guitar. The way Oscar Roland sings is like he narrates a story. It's a very nice. Just give it a listen. And next there's Prince Hussein with If That's Okay. Okay, this track is, like if you watch this Prince Hussein, I don't know if you want to watch this, but who cares? Okay, this track might be the sign for Prince Hussein to detach himself from Pamungkas. Like, seriously, detach yourself a little bit more from Pamungkas and tries to find your true potential. Because if that's okay, is sonically, vocally, lyrically just what Pamungkas would release. Yeah, although I know Pamungkas contributes in the production of the track, but it doesn't mean that the whole element should follow the way Pamungkas would sing or would produce. It's just like this track sounds like Prince Hussein just covers one of Pamungkas' song, but he desperately achieves it. He tries to express some emotion evoking part, but the emotion he tries to shape with his vocal sounds too hard and too much and ineffective as well. I don't even have any connection tissue with how he sings. The lyric itself, it cannot be fully delivered because he's too hard in achieving um his emotion. And just like what I said before, Princess, and please detach yourself from Pamungkas a little bit more. Try to find your true color and let Pamungkas be Pamungkas and let you be you. And yeah, I don't like this one. Okay, next there's the rain with terjebak masa lalu. Terjebak bersama. Sorry. Alright. The rain. Okay. This one sentence I completely remember nothing from this track. It's just meant to be effortlessly forgetful. Okay. Next there's Tashura. Safi Tashura. I love this band very much. And yeah, this song, another part of Sun Eater compilation. This is a daring and blaring intro a la Tashura as always. This is perhaps the only feature that doesn't deeply drown into the throwback guideline provided by Sun Eater. And the dance and tight strum and rumbling drum of Tashura are the lovely and fiery as always. It is very nice. It sounds very Tashura. And next there is a Wake Up Iris with sorry if I mispronounce it because it is Greek mythology. Nemosini with Nemosini. It is a deeply emotional track served by Wake Up Iris, and I love the narrative to rely on yourself and believe in each tiny improvement you have made. It is a profound idea to have to this point, and instrumentation is they slowly building up the tension as well. I love how the vocal is also stress on the element of emotional evoking. It's very nice. And the last one there's the Wolf and the Witch with Tepi Batas Kota. Loving how first and the last one we have the Wolf and the Witch Tepi Batas Kota. Loving how versatile instrument in this track, ranging from indie pop and even a jazzy tune and back to alternative rock. Um, but what I complain is in this track is the too upfront and mediocre vocal might be the least a thing I'd enjoy from the song. Wow. After all, the lyrically or the songwriting is doesn't really that stand out, but it's a nice tune. And yeah, I guess that's all for this episode. Last week's new music, and we have covered 20 songs. Um, yeah, click the like if you like this type of content, and click the link below if you want to stream or buy the track that I just reviewed or just highlighted before. And yeah, subs if you want to read more, if you want to watch more contents like this. And at the end of the day, selalu cintai musik-musik karya Indonesia. Have a nice day.